Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Transformational Wellness Network. I'm your host, Rick Kleffel. With me is Howard Schiffer, president and founder of Vitamin Angels. What an amazing thing to be able to say, and amazing to meet you.
I'm so glad to be here.
Howard, you know, you started out as a midwife,
Yes.
which is such an interesting decision. Just the word has all these connotations that are so odd. So tell us a little bit about making that decision and your early work as a midwife.
It was in my early 20s. It was something that I was just drawn to, that I thought we were trying to learn how to grow our own food, build our own houses, and when somebody got pregnant with the group that we were living with, it seemed natural that we'd figure out how to deliver babies. And at that time, you have to remember that mothers and babies were separated at birth.
Yeah.
The father was never allowed into the delivery room. You know, the baby would be brought into to the mother maybe 3 times a day. So there was a lot of opportunity to improve things, and we started learning a lot about nutrition because a lot of the women who came to us were vegan and vegetarian. They often were iron deficient, sometimes anemic, both of which could be life-threatening for the baby. So we got them some nutritional counseling. We taught them about food combining, then we got them on a very strong program of vitamins and minerals, and the results were astounding. And you know, they'd go back for their doctor's visits, they'd have more energy, they'd you know, just feel healthier. And when the doctors would see their blood work on the follow-up visits, they'd be shocked that their hemoglobin and hematocrits were rising so quickly. And you know, we obviously soon saw a lot of healthy babies, so it was a great experience. And it really was the first time I saw the power of vitamins, of nutrition in a very tangible way.
Well, it seems to me that this experience really colored your decisions for years to come. I mean, this cast the mold for you.
Definitely. Well, it led me into the natural products industry, and then that led me to Vitamin Angels, and I feel like now I've come full circle, that I'm back to working with mothers and babies again, so it's been a great journey.
Well, that's great. Now, you were in the natural channel industry, you're working with vitamins. What made you decide to found Vitamin Angels? That's a big thing to take on. I mean,
it was, I was just at a point in my life, I had been in the industry for about 14 years, and I thought if I had to find the next hot product, or the next hot trend, or how we're going to meet this much sales goals again, I was going to go crazy. And my kids were getting older, and I thought, you know, that passion that I had when I got into the industry had dissipated. I had become a little bit more of a business. And I kept thinking, you know, I know all of these people. I know people who make raw materials, who make products like Rainbow. I know people who distribute, and I thought I should be able to do something with that. And there was an earthquake in Southern California, and that was the catalyst that started Vitamin Angels in 1994.
Oh, I remember that earthquake.
Northwoods earthquake.
Yeah, we had just moved up here. We kind of like missed one earthquake and missed the earthquake up here and the earthquake down there in our move.
Yeah.
Now, is there somebody who's, any specific person who's inspired you to do this? Is there, like, you know, some role model out there for you who inspired you to start the Vitamin Angels?
Well, I mean, the easy answer to that is obviously somebody like Mother Teresa, who I think taught all of us about selflessness and about real, genuine caring and helping people who don't get help from anywhere else. But honestly, for me, the people that inspire me most are the moms and dads that we meet in the field that are just living in untenable circumstances. They're facing adversity every single day, and they still get up and do whatever they need to do to feed their kids. And those are my real heroes. I mean, those are the people that I admire, and I think that's, you know, they have to maybe walk an hour or two for their water. They have to gather wood every day for fuel. They don't know where their food's coming from, and they still do everything they can to. And if we have a vitamin distribution, they'll sometimes walk for 2 or 3 hours to bring their kids because they know what an impact the vitamins are going to make on their children's lives. Those are my heroes.
Well, you know, what you do, it sounds, you know, you can say you distribute vitamins, that's one thing. To actually do it is another. Talk about some of the logistics, from getting the vitamins, parsing them, figuring out where to go, and then getting them there. That's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. Well, we have 700 NGO partners in the U.S. and in 50 countries around the world. So we work in 47 states in the United States. So in the U.S., we might work through a food bank, a free clinic, or a pregnancy resource center. Globally, we might work through a maternity health center, a regional hospital, or a local clinic.
I'm hearing the midwife talking here that all these years spent making sure babies are born healthy.
Absolutely. Well, you have to understand that in a lot of the world we work in, I mean, even the United States, we have the statistics for infant mortality in the U.S., we're like number 35 on the list. I mean, we're way below a lot of other countries like Canada and Japan and Sweden. So we even have a large way to go. And in the developing world, we have women that we see that literally are eating dirt when we get in 2015 before we give them their prenatal vitamins, because that's their only source of minerals. So when you start getting these women supplements, the results are just incredible. And we work through these partners, so we get people to donate. So Rainbow will donate prenatal vitamins as an example. We'll ship them to a warehouse that we work with in Atlanta, Georgia. We'll arrange for a freighter to pick up the shipment. That will get brought to a port of entry in the country we're working in. So if it's in Kenya, it might get brought into Mombasa. Then our partner has to meet the shipment, clear customs. They have to arrange to transport it to a warehouse. And then our training team and our technical information team has already gone in and trained the partner on how to do the distribution and what the warehouse has to look like. And then we'll go in and just monitor and make sure that it's being done correctly. So it's a long process.
You must have a lot of interesting cultural experiences just in the way different cultures regard these supplements.
So, you know, people are people. And moms, if you ask a mom in Mississippi or Mozambique what they want, they always say the same two things. They always say, I want my kids to be healthy and I want my kids to be able to get an education. You know, it's people are people, and you know, yes, the clothes are different in Bolivia than they are in Nagaland, and you know, and of course the languages are different and the food's different, but the smile is still the same. You know, when you see people, there's still, even if we don't speak the same language, we can still connect, and they'll still hand me their babies at a certain point, and you know, they know that we're there to help, so they really appreciate it.
Well, that sounds like a really rewarding experience. How often do you go out in the field?
I go out 6 to 8 times a year.
Wow, that's a lot.
But I don't have to plan my trips. Jenna plans my trip, so I have it easy.
When you're traveling, are you actually the guy out there working in the clinics?
We do observational visits, so I'm the person who brings the partner. So when Rainbow Light came, Sharon and I were there together, and we go to the clinic or to the maternity center. We see the partner do the actual distribution, and we get to play with the moms and the babies. So we have the easy job.
The easy job. Now, you've been doing this for a long time. I'm wondering if, thinking back across your career, is there some way you might have want to change it or have done something differently?
You know, I think the only thing I would have done differently, if I could have, in the first 10 years, we were living on a shoestring. I mean, we really did not have a lot of funding. And if we did one trip a year, that was a lot. And it took us a long time to really start, you know, having our whole team go into the field, and then to be able to bring donors into the field was a huge transition for us. It was just a big change. And if I could have done that earlier, I know it would have had a big, once people saw the children and met the moms and started seeing who these people were, that changed everything. So if I could have done that a lot earlier, that would have been great.
It seems to me that one of the key aspects of your work is to transform numbers and statistics into actual human beings and experiences interacting with human beings.
Yeah. It's when you're in the field and you meet these children, you realize that they're just like our kids, and they just need a chance to live a healthy life. And you realize that vitamins they don't fix everything, but they fix one big thing, so their actual existence is not in question. They can get through the first 5 years of their lives, and that's a big deal.
Well, yeah, I mean, the way that these products work and the way that you distribute them gives them access to the first world, to a whole technology and level of civilization, even within the United States, that they might not even have access to.
Yeah, it puts people on the, it starts to break the cycle of poverty. I mean, when people are poor and they've been malnourished or undernourished for a long time, by the time they get to have children, those babies are going to be undernourished and they're going to be born with low birth weights, and then they're not going to be able to get a good education because they literally won't be able to focus in school. So you're just going to continue the cycle of poverty. It's just going to spiral down. When you start to break that, where they could actually not be sick all the time,
Sure.
where they could start to focus in school, then you could start to get people on the economic ladder where they could start to solve their own problems. I mean, most of the people we work with, they don't want charity. They just want to be able to know that their kids are going to be healthy. That's, it's not that complicated.
And you have solved an uncomplicated problem with great grace.
It's been a gift.
Thank you very much, Howard Schiffer.
Thank you.
Huh?
Pleasure.